The controversial victory of Suga over Petr No Mercy Yan has raised a major uproar in the fight community among fans, fighters, and even analysts. In today's video, we will be sharing with you the thoughts of Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, Dana White, Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera, and Khabib Nurmagomedov. But before we begin, head on to the comment section and drop the name of the person you believe won the match. At the UFC 280, which took place in Abu Dhabi, Petr Yan lost via a split decision to Sean O'Malley when two of the three judges gave the nod to the back-end top 10 contender over the number 1 ranked contender. Most people have argued that Yan was robbed by the judges and the UFC. Some of the notable persons that have alluded to this fact is Joe Rogan. Rogan has admitted that Yan should have been given the nod over O'Malley at the UFC 280. Rogan pointed out that O'Malley was able to inflict some damages to Yan. However, he also questioned the impact of the takedowns by Yan. During an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Rogan stated that Petr Yan still remains one of the best in the division and by far the number 1 contender.
It was a very close fight, and he definitely hurt Petr in multiple occasions. Caught him with that big knee, rocked him. The question is, how much is the takedown worth? How much is control worth?
Right.
Downs without damage. It's like, what is that value? I mean, and I'm not denying that I thought Petr Yan won, because I did think he won at the end of it. But takedowns without damage versus stand up with damage, because Sugar landed more strikes standing and had big moments. Yan had some big moments too. One big left hand that rocked him. The question is, like, how valuable are those takedowns, and how valuable is that top game and that control?
The former UFC champion turned UFC analyst Daniel Cormier has also shared with us some of the implications of Yan's loss to O'Malley. As it stands, Petr Yan might be exiting the UFC soon. This is the second time in a row that No Mercy will be losing his matches via judges' decisions. The first time was at the UFC 273 when Yan dropped a close split to his rival Aljamain Sterling. Apparently, the Russian fighter has had enough, and according to Daniel Cormier, Yan is currently threatening to leave the promotion when his contract ends. Ryan, a little inside baseball, Cormier told his ESPN co-host Ryan Clark, Petr Yan is so disappointed in this decision. Petr Yan is so disappointed in the decision against Aljo that I'm hearing word this guy may want to look at something different down the line in terms of his career, because he just does not feel like maybe the organization doesn't have his back. It's crazy.
Inside baseball, Petr Yan is so disappointed in this decision. Petr Yan is so disappointed in the decision against Aljo that I'm hearing word that this guy may want to look at something different down the line in terms of his career, because he just does not feel like maybe the organization doesn't have his back.
The UFC president Dana White is not left out either. While speaking during the 280 post-fight press conference, Dana claimed that the Yan vs O'Malley fight was one of those razor-thin close fights. I can see people saying Yan won the fight, I can see people saying O'Malley won the fight. What's weird is, it wasn't the way I thought it was with the judges' scorecards. I thought depending on who you gave the first round to determine who won the fight, but that was not the case apparently. Dana added,
one of those razor-thin close fights. I could see people saying Yan won the fight, I could see people saying O'Malley won the fight. It's all, what's weird is, it wasn't the way I thought it was with the judges' scorecards. I thought depending on who you gave the first round to determined who won the fight. But that was not the case apparently.
While every mixed martial arts fan might be quick to jump to conclusion when it comes to UFC 280, Sean O'Malley has a word for UFC fans as well. Suga is not interested in hearing your thoughts on his split decision win over Petr Yan. O'Malley noted this publicly on his YouTube channel when he said, "Let me hear it, boys. Post-fight, some of you guys might have thought I lost, some of you might have thought I won. At the end of the day, they said I won. Happy with how it played out as far as landing big shots, ate some big shots." He continued, "Goddamn, that was a war. That was a mental battle, and I knew that going in. It's not my freaking fault. You guys wanna go tell the refs, the judges, that I lost? You wanna go tell Dana White? Tell whoever, but don't tell me. Save it, boys, cause that's not what my record says." What do you think about these statements made by Sugar?
Post-fight, some of you guys might have thought I lost, some of you might have thought I won. the end of the day, they said I won. You guys want to go tell the judges that I lost? You guys want to go tell Dana? You guys want to go tell whoever? But don't tell me. Save it, boys, because not what my record says.
Notwithstanding the outcome of the fight, you would agree that it was still an entertaining fight to watch. The pair both received the Fight of the Night honors, which is worth $50,000. One of the reasons why the outcome of this fight has caused a lot of noise is the implication of O'Malley's victory. This is one of the biggest feats that O'Malley has achieved so far in his career. Suga has jumped in rankings from the number 10 spot to the number 1 spot. From the official UFC rankings that was released, Suga is now the number 1 bantamweight contender and next in line for a title bout. The UFC normally compiles its official rankings by a voting panel that comprises of media members. These media members are allowed to vote for their top fighters in the UFC by weight class and pound for pound. For any fighter in the UFC to be eligible to be voted on, such fighter needs to be in active status in the UFC. In addition, the champions and interim champions are already at the top position of their divisions, so they are also excluded from the voting by weight class. However, the champions are among those that can be voted on for the pound for pound rankings. Now, this next opinion on UFC 280 might not be what you were expecting. Marlon Vera, who is one of O'Malley's rivals, has stated that Suga actually deserves the win. If you have been a UFC fan for a while, you would remember the UFC 252 in August 2020 when Vera and O'Malley went head to head. Although Cheeto defeated Suga via first round technical knockout, he has never underestimated O'Malley's skills. Vera feels that O'Malley has all it takes to dominate in the UFC. In the recent appearance of the UFC star in MMA Hour, Vera said, "For all the people that say he sucks and he's all talk, I never thought that. I always said before, the guy can fight, the guy is talented, the guy has tools. I think he's the only one actually surprised that he can prove himself to everybody because I think he can fight. I think he has the power in his hands. He's kind of a snake, but so are the rest of the division, and so are the rest of the top 15. At that level, anybody can hang with anybody." Vera also went on to say that O'Malley is the number 1 contender, so he deserves the title shot. Everybody thinks that was a gifted decision. Everybody thinks he got a pass on that one. That can probably hurt what the UFC will do with him. Vera compared the situation to what happened with Song Yadong fight, where he claimed that he was robbed and then given the O'Malley fight. After O'Malley, he was later given the Jose Aldo fight. O'Malley got the decision gifted. Maybe they do the same thing. They probably hold a little bit, make somebody else do it. But we'll see. Again, that's up Dana and the UFC. We'll see what they want to do. Let's keep our fingers crossed and watch out what happens.
The body language of O'Malley was, a body language of like, I lost the fight. And then when they gave it to him, I thought it was a gift decision, but again, fuck it, The guy won the fight, now he's gonna have a number 1 next to his number, I guess. But I believe it was a gift. I believe he got the decision gifted, but we'll see what happened with that,
On the other hand, Khabib Nurmagomedov doesn't agree with the decision of the judges concerning the bout. While watching the fight, Nurmagomedov reacted by saying, "How is this possible, brother?" The former UFC champion and UFC Hall of Famer was shocked at the verdict against Yan at the UFC 280. O'Malley's victory was a big upset in the history of mixed martial arts. He stepped into the bout as a major underdog against the former champ. Since Suga debuted in the UFC, he has only lost 1 fight, and that was to Marlon Vera in 2020 via a total knockout. Yan is now on a 2-fight losing streak for the first time ever. He's lost 3 of 4, with the other 2 defeats in title fights against Aljamain Sterling. Have you watched the fight yourself? Do you agree with those that say Yan was robbed? Do share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.